31 to 35, all those questions were wrong. Yes. Answers వచ్చినాయా? ఆన్సర్స్ వచ్చినాయా ఏంటి ఎవరికన్నా కొంపదీసి? ఉండే ఉంటారు గన్లు, వెరీ జీనియస్. తప్పును కూడా కరెక్ట్ చేసేసి పెట్టేసే గొప్ప వాళ్ళు కూడా ఉంటారు. ఆల్ దోస్ 5 questions were actually wrong. So these are actually different questions. కొత్తగా ఏదో ట్రై చేద్దాం అనుకున్నాం, అది పులిహార అయింది. యాక్చువల్గా Q1 Q2లో Q1 is separate question and Q2 will be separate question basically. So we have tried to give quantity 1 and quantity 2 using common information. కొత్తగా ట్రై చేద్దాం అనుకున్నాం, కొద్దిగా బౌన్స్ బ్యాక్ అయింది. నో వరీ, నెక్స్ట్ టైం విల్ టేక్ కేర్. ఓకే, రైట్. No disappointment, but at least we have tried, right? At least we have tried. Yes, enough. అంటే డిసప్పాయింట్ మనకు కాదు, ఆప్షన్లు పెట్టిన వాళ్ళు ఉంటారు చూడు, వాళ్ళకి డిసప్పాయింట్మెంట్. ఇక్కడ ఇంటర్నెట్ వైర్ ఉందా? ఇంటర్నెట్ వైర్ ఉందా లేదా? దానికి పెట్టేశారా? నాకు ఇంకొక వైర్ కావాలి. రేపటికి కానీ ఫ్రైడే క్లాస్కి అరేంజ్ చేయండి. ఓకే, ఇంకొక ఇంటర్నెట్ వైర్ చెప్తా. ఇట్లాంటి బ్యాచ్ ఉంటుంది చూడండి, ఫ్రైడే నుంచి చెప్తా వాళ్ళ సంగతి. వీ హ్యావ్ ఎ సిస్టమ్ యాక్చువల్లీ. అంటే యూ కాంట్ సీ దాట్, యాజ్ అడ్మిన్ ఐ కెన్ సీ. అంటే ఇప్పుడు మీరు రాసే డైలీ ఎగ్జామ్స్లో మీ ర్యాంక్ ఎంత అనేది నాకు తెలిసిపోద్ది. ఐ కెన్ సీ యువర్ ర్యాంక్, యువర్ పొజిషన్ ఇన్ ఓవరాల్ బ్రాంచెస్, అండ్ హౌ మెనీ హ్యావ్ యూ అటెంప్టెడ్ ఫస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్. ఐ కెన్ సీ దట్. ఫస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్ని మీలో ఎంతమంది రాశారనే కౌంట్ నాకు వస్తుంది, నేను చూడగలను. ఆ ఫస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్లో కూడా ఫస్ట్ ఆప్షన్ ఎంతమంది కరెక్ట్ పెట్టారు, సెకండ్ ఆప్షన్ అనేది ఎంతమంది ఆప్షన్ ఇచ్చారు, ఏ ఆప్షన్కి ఎంతెంతమంది. అంటే అర్థమైందా నేను అన్నది? లెట్స్ సే 1000 members have answered first question. Out of 1000, how many of them have given first option as correct answer? సో సెకండ్ ఆప్షన్ చూస్ చేసిన వాళ్ళు ఎంతమంది, థర్డ్ వాళ్ళు ఎంతమంది, ఫోర్త్ ఎంతమంది, ఫిఫ్త్ ఆప్షన్ ఎంతమంది. సో ఈ కౌంట్ కూడా నేను చూడగలను. అట్ ద సేమ్ టైం పర్సన్ ఐడి నెంబర్తో సహా కావాలంటే నేను చెక్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. యాక్చువల్గా ఇప్పుడు ఇంటర్నెట్ వైర్ లేదు, లేదంటే శ్రీధర్ సీసీ అడ్మిన్ ఓపెన్ చేసి చూపించేవాళ్ళం 31 to 35 ఎంతమంది ఆప్షన్లు పెట్టారు అనేది. రైట్, ఫ్రైడే విల్ డెఫినెట్లీ డూ ఇట్. ఐ హ్యావ్ ఎ ఇంటర్నెట్ వైర్, బట్ దట్ ఈస్ కనెక్టెడ్ టు సర్వర్. ఓకే, ఫైన్. 36 to 40. 36 to 40. Right, what is this data regarding pens manufactured by, sure. Data regarding pens manufactured by and exported by the companies ABC together throughout the years. Right, you have 4 years data and 3 companies manufactured and then exported. Fine. Number of manufactured pens and exported given in hundreds. Data related to the given years only. Fine. Question number 36. Paper 36. What is the respective ratio between number of pens manufactured by company C in all the given years together and by B in all the given years together? This is about manufacturing. Yes or no? Company C manufactured for 4 years and company B. Right, let's add everything. 600, 600, 1200, 800, 2000, 700, 80, 80, 160, 2000, 860. Your first number is 2860 by, and for company B. Wait, if you take 20 and add here, it becomes 800, right? 800, 800, 800, 800, 3200 plus 100, 3300. So 3300. 0, 0 cancel. All are both numerator and denominator are 11 multiples. 11 26 times and this is 30 times. Again both are even numbers. Cancellation with 2, 13, 15. 13 by 15. 13 is to 15. Second option answer. $37. Number of pens exported by company B decreased by what percent? Exported by company B decreased from 2000 to 2004. Exported 2004, 294. 2004, 164. 164 is how much less than 294? 130. But you need to represent that in terms of percentage. So 164 is 130 less that of 294. Yeah, 164 is 130 less that of 294. Percentage, right? So into 100. We'll get answer from denominator. Before that, look at your options. Options are all in 40s. So directly you can go for 40%. Right? Now, otherwise, let me go for 50%. That is easy to calculate. 50%, how much is that? Half of this. 147. From this, if you can subtract 13, then it becomes 130, which is our numerator value. And if 50% is 147, 5% will be 14.7. You need to subtract more than that. Hence, answer is less than 45%. If you subtract more than 5% from 45%, answer will be less than 45%. Now, what about 1% of this? 2.94. Near about? How many 3s are here approximately? 6. So this is, you know that definitely more than 5% and less than 6%. Answer should be approximately 6%. If you subtract a number which is, if you subtract 6% from 50, answer will be 44. How many options are there in 44? You have only one. Third option, 44.22. That's final answer. You need to subtract a number which is more than 5% but less than 6%. Hence, answer is more than 44% and less than 45%, and there is only one option. Next. 38. In the year 1999, the total number of pens manufactured by all the given companies together was 90% of the total number of pens manufactured by all the given companies together in the year 2000. Right. So you have 2000 data but not 1999 data. But it is given that in 1999 total number of pens manufactured by all the companies were 90% of the pens manufactured in 2000. And what is your question? What was the total number of exports in the year 1999 by all the given companies together if it constitutes 1/18th of the total number of manufactured pens in that year? Total number of manufactured pens. Right. So when you calculate number of pens manufactured by 3 companies in 2000, and if you calculate 90% of that, you will get data in 99. Those are manufactured. But you're asked about exported. Exported were 1/18th. 1/18th in the sense 1/18th of what? Number of manufactured pens, which are 90% of 2000. 90% and 1/18th of that will be 5%. What percent is that? 5%. So let's calculate first 100%, then you can calculate 5%. 850, 840, 1690, 1600 plus 600, 2200, and then you have 90. 2290. So 2290 is data in 2000, which is 100%. And why to calculate 90%, and again why to calculate 1/18th? 1/18th of 90% is 5%, you know that. Let's directly go for 5%. 10% is 229. 5% is half of 229, which is 114.5. Hundreds, right? So 11450. Next 39. What percent of the number of pens manufactured by company B in the year 2000 were exported? What percent of number of pens manufactured by B in the year 2000 were exported? B in 2000. B in 2000, 294. But you need to calculate in terms of percentage. With respect to what? 840. So that is 294 out of 840 percentage into 100. Now, look at your options. 45, 25, 30, 35, 20. Now, what about 10%? 84. Approximate to 80. 2 80s in the sense? 160. 3 80s, 240. 40%, 4 80s, 320. This is less than that, right? Answer is less than 40%. So let's directly go for 40%. 40%. 10% is 84. 40% in the sense into 4. 80 into 4. 80 into 4. 320. 4 into 4. 36. 16. Total 336. From this, if you can subtract 42, then you'll get 294. What about 10% of denominator? This is half of that. Half of 10% is 5%. So you need to subtract 5% from 40%. Answer 35%. Next. But even you need not to calculate this, because you know that 30% is near about 250. But 40% is 320, which is in middle, in between 30 and 40. You have only one option, right? In between 30 and 40, you have only one option. You need not even calculate this part. Next, 40. What is the average number of pens that were manufactured by company A in all the given years together? Manufactured for company A. You're asked about average. This is what you need to calculate. Yes or no? Now, let's go for benchmark. 800. Take 100 from here and add that 100 to 700, that becomes 800. So second number is 800, fourth number is 800. First number is 50 more than 800. Take 50 and out of 50 add 10 here. So every number becomes 800, 800, 800. And you are left with 40. 40 adjusted among 4 numbers. Each gets 10 more. So total 810. Hundreds, right? 81000. 81000. Next, 41. A boat takes 640 minutes to travel from point A to B and then back to point A. The distance between point A and B is 60 kilometers. If the respective ratio of the speeds of the boat in still water and speed of the water current is 4:1, what is the speed of the boat in downstream? Downstream speed. What is man speed here in terms of ratio? 4 parts. And stream speed? 1 part. Downstream speed? Downstream speed? 5 parts. You're asked about downstream? Answer should be 5 multiple. Answer should be 5 multiple. How many are there? 2. Either 15 or 20. Now let me verify with 15. If so, this is my answer. Else, without verification, you can go for 20. Now, if downstream speed, which is 5 parts, if 5 parts is 15, 1 part is 3. 4 parts is 12. So, downstream speed is 15. Upstream speed becomes 9. 60 kilometers traveled with a speed of 15 km per hour. This is time taken to cover 60 kilometers in downstream and time taken in upstream to cover 60 kilometers is 9. If the total time taken is equal to 640 minutes, let me convert into hours by 60. 10 hours, 40 minutes. 40 minutes in the sense 2 by 3. So this is 10, 2 by 3. How much is this? 4 hours. How much is this? 6 times of 9, 54. 6 by 9, 2 by 3. 4 plus 6, 2 by 3, 10, 2 by 3. Right answer. 15 right answer. Or else again you need to use steps. 60 by 5 parts, 60 by 3 parts is equal to 10 2 by 3, which is 22, 10 2 by 3 kada 32 anukunta. 10 2 by 3, 32 by 3. You need to solve this again. 5 how many times? 12 times. 3 how many times? 20 times. 32 by P is equal to 32 by 3. P is equal to 3. You're asked about downstream speed, which is 5 parts. If P is equal to 3, 5 parts is 15. Next 42. ABC invests in a business and the share of their investments is in the respective ratio 1/3, 2/3 and then 1/8. After 6 months from the start of the business, A withdraws half of his investment. If at the end of the year profit recorded was 17,500, how much was B's profit share? Right. Now we have fraction here. If you use fraction as it is, it takes time. So let's get rid of using fraction. So I don't want denominator here. What is LCM of denominators? 24. Let's multiply every fraction with 24. This is 8, 16, 3. So 8, 16, 3. A invested 8 parts for 6 months. After that, he withdraws half of this. In the sense, he'll invest only 4 parts for 6 months. So he invested 8 parts for 6 months and 4 parts for 6 months. So that will be like 12 parts for 6 months. Yes or no? B invested 6 parts for 12 months. C invested 3 parts for again 12 months. 12, 12, 12 cancel. Ratio 6, 16, 3. Total how many parts? 25 parts. You're asked about B's share, which is 16 parts. Total profit is given as 17,500. 25 parts is equal to 17,500. 25, 7 times, 00. 16, 7 times, and then 00. 11,200 answer. A certain sum of money is invested for 12 years at 12% per annum. It amounts to 36,600. For how many years should the same sum of money be invested to earn the same amount of interest at the rate of 9.6% simple interest per annum? Right. It is, in the first case, it is given for how many years? 12 years. And at what percent? 12% per annum. How much percent interest you will get? 144%. And your next condition says how much money, for how many years it should be invested to earn the same amount of interest. If interest is same, can I say percentage of simple interest is also same? Yes or no? In first case, how much percent of simple interest we got? 144%. Now also we are expecting same 144% with 9.6% per annum. If you want to calculate number of years, 144% at the rate of 9.6%. And that will give you number of years. 10 times of denominator, 96. Half of 96, 48. When you add these two, you'll get 144. This is 10 times and this is 5 times. So total how many times? 15 times. So in 15 years, you'll get same interest. You don't need to use 36,600. If you use that number, it kills your time. Simple interest is same. I can say simple interest in terms of percentage is also same. In first case, as you are getting 144%, now also you should get 144%. At the rate of 9.6%, if it takes n years, 144 by 9.6 will give you a number of years. 44. A dealer offers 24% discount on the market price of a certain item and thereby makes a loss of 5%. There is a loss of 5%. 5% loss conversion. If I sell it at a 5% loss, at what percent I am selling it? 95%. Right. By selling it 95% of cost price, there will be a loss of 5%. When? After giving a discount of 24%. 24% discount is equal to 76% of what? Market price. And now, if the market price of the item was 7,500, how much discount should he offer on the market price so as to make a profit of 15% on the item? Here also, as you are asked about percentage, don't concentrate on the number. How much profit you are expecting? 15%. When you are expecting a profit of 15%, that becomes 115% of cost price. Yes or no? If you can identify its respective percentage of market price, then you can calculate your discount percent. Suppose if this 115% of cost price is equal to 90% of market price, How much percent discount have you allowed? 10%. So you need to identify its respective percentage of market price. Yes? Now, 95 and 76, what is difference? 19. 19. What is 10% of this? 9.5. 20% of this? 19. So if you subtract 20% of this number, then you will get 76. Let's subtract 20% of this number. 10% of this number? 11.5. 20%? 23. Subtract 23 from this number. Subtract 23 from this number. 92%. If this is equal to 92% of market price, how much percent discount have you allowed? 8% discount. Clear? Now, A and B together can finish a piece of work in 13 1/3 days, which is 40 by 3 days. B and C together can finish the same piece of work in 10 by 11 days, which is 120 by 11 days. C is 20% more efficient than B in how many days? A, B, C together can finish the same piece of work. Now, A and B can complete the work in 40 by 3 days. B and C can do it in 120 by 11 days. And now you're asked about how many days that A, B, C together take to finish the job. Now, work done by A, B, C separately. These are number of days, 40 by 3 and then 120 by 11. What is LCM? Me bonda, 120. LCM of fractions, LCM of all numerators by HCF of denominators, yes or no? LCM of 40 and 20, 120. 120. HCF of 3 and 11, both are prime numbers, HCF is 1. LCM అబ్బా అది కూడా రాకపోతే ఇంకేం చేయాలి? A and B can complete 120 units in 40 by 3 days. So in one day they can complete 9 units, 120 by 40 by 3. Karma. 120 by 40 by 3. Denominator and denominator comes to numerator. 40 how many times? 3 3s. 9. B and C together can complete 120 units in 120 by 11 days. Per day they can complete 11 units. Okay. Now, yeah, one more condition. C is 20% more efficient than B. C is 20% more efficient than B. B and C together can complete 11 units. If B does 5 units, C can complete 6 units. Is 6 20% more than 5? Yes or no? Condition satisfied. A and B together can complete 9 units. Out of 9, B alone does 5 units. A can complete 4 units. A, B, C together can complete 15 units in one day. Total work is 120. To complete 120 units, how many days does they need to complete it? 8 days. Done. A, B, C together can complete 15 units. To complete total work, they need to complete 120 units. At the rate of 15 units per day, they need 8 days. Over? Next. At present, Ali is 14 years elder to Kai, and Eddie is 10 years elder to Kai. Both are elders to Kai, but this fellow is 14 years elder and that fellow 10 years. What is age difference between Ali and Eddie then? 4 years. When was that? Anytime age difference between Ali and Eddie should be equal to 4 years. Next, the respective ratio of percentages of Ali's and Eddie's is 8:7. Here, in terms of number of parts, what is difference? 1 part, and that should be equal to 4 years. So if 1 part is equal to 4, 7 parts is 28. So Eddie's age is 28. 28. Now, Eddie is 10 years elder to Kai. If Eddie is 28 years old, what about age of Kai? 18. So present age of Kai is 18. But what is your question? What was Kai's age 6 years ago? If present age of Kai is 18, 6 years ago? 12. Next, 47. A man pays 20% of his monthly salary as tax out of the remaining. If 20% is already over, remaining is 80%. Out of the remaining 80%, 1/4 she gives. Means 20% is over. Remaining 60%. And keeps 10,000 as petty cash. The rest he invests in LIC and fixed deposit in the respective ratio 3:5. Okay. Now, so 60% should be equal to 10,000 plus 8 parts. Am I right? Now, if he invests 14,250 in LIC, in terms of number of parts, he invested 3 parts. So, from this I can say 3 parts is equal to 14,250. How much did he pay as tax that month? In terms of percentage, he paid 20% tax. So you need to calculate 20%. If you know 60%, then you definitely can calculate 20%, right? Yes or no? 1/3 of this. So now you need to calculate 8 parts value. If 3 parts is this much, how many times? 3, 4 times, 12, 22, 7 times, and then 50. Now you need to calculate 8 parts. 8 parts. Wait. Hold in. Forget about 0. 8 times gada. 10 times minus 2 times is okay. No issue. 8 times of 4750. 10 times 47,500 minus 2 times of this. 2 times of this number is 9,500. Subtract 10,000, add 500. Subtract 10,000, 37,500. Add 500, 38,000. So 8 parts is 38,000 plus 10,000 is 48,000. 60% is this much. You asked about tax amount, which is 20%, which is 1/3 of this. 1/3 of this number, 16,000. (48). The area of the rectangle is equal to the area of the square whose diagonal is 8√10. If the difference between length and breadth of the rectangle is 4. What is the perimeter of rectangle? You are asked about perimeter. Fine. So you need to know length and breadth of rectangle. Rectangle area is equal to square area whose diagonal is 8√10. Square area a square, or you can say d square by 2. D square by 2. D square 8 square into 10 by 2. 8 square into 5. 8 square 64. 64 5 times 320. 320. So square area is equal to 320, which is the area of rectangle. Now length and breadth difference is given as 4. Can I write this number as 1620 times? 1620 times is the difference 4. Length is 20, breadth is 16, L plus B is 36. You are asked about perimeter, which is 2 into L plus B. Answer 72. Perimeter. In a 120 liters of mixture of milk and water, the percentage of water is only 30%. The milkman gave 40 liters of this mixture to a customer and then added 12 liters of pure milk and 8 liters of pure water in the remaining mixture. What is the respective ratio of the quantity of milk and water in the new mixture? Now, initially how many liters of milk we have? 120 liters of milk, mixture of milk and water. Out of 120 liters, 40 liters were taken out. Now remaining is 80. And then you are adding 12 liters of milk and 8 liters of water. Total how many liters you are adding? 20 to 80. So total quantity becomes 100. So out of 100 liters you have milk and water, and you are asked about the ratio. When you add milk and water, that should be equal to 100. So ratio, in terms of ratio, total number of parts for milk and water should be factor of 100. Total parts 19. Is 19 factor of 100? Not right answer. 29? No. 25? Yes. Can be your answer. Hold. 23? No. 17? No. Only one answer. That's right. Total number of parts of milk and water should be factor of 100. Like that, there is only one option. You don't need to solve it. Otherwise, if you want to do it, you know, ఒకదానికంటే ఎక్కువ ఉన్నాయి అనుకోండి, చేయటం వచ్చా? 120 liters milk and water. Water they said 30%. 30% of this 36, and the remaining is 84. Now 40 liters of this container is taken out. 40 liters of the mixture is taken out. 40 out of 120 is 1/3. So 1/3 milk is gone and 1/3 water is also gone. 1/3 milk, 1/3 28. Subtract 28 from this. Fast. Subtract 30, add 2, 56. Now you have 56. Out of 120 liters, if 40 is taken out, out of 120 liters, if 40 liters were taken out, you have only 80. Out of 80, this is 56. Remaining is 24. To this, you are adding 12 liters of milk and 8 liters of water. Now the quantity is 68 and then 32. What is the ratio? 17:8. 4 times cancellation with 4. Right, next. 58. A bag contains 5 white balls, 5 red balls, 6 green balls. Total how many? 16 balls. If 2 balls are picked at random, what is the probability that at least 1 ball is green? At least 1 green anannam. Out of 2. We'll go for 1 minus total probability minus probability of getting no green. Probability of getting no green. So out of 16 balls, in how many ways can you select 2 balls? 16C2. This is total probable outcomes. And now you want no green. So how many green balls we have? 6. If you pick any 2 out of remaining 10 balls, that's fine. So that will be 10C2. 10C2 by 16C2. 10 into 9, 16 into 15. 2 times, 3 times. 2 8 times, 3 times. 1 minus 3 by 8, which is 5 by 8. Okay. 56 to 60. Quadratic. Any particular question? Anyone? Okay. Now 61 to 65. Number of watches exported by country M decreased by what % from 2006 to 2008? M, diamond. 2006 to 2008. 2006, how much is this? 550. And 2008? 340. 550 and then 340. 550, 340. 340 is how much less than this? 210. That of 550. Percentage, right? So into 100. 10% of denominator, 55. 20%, 110. 40%, 220. But our numerator is 210. So you need to subtract 10 from this number. 1%, 5.5. 2%, 11. So you need to subtract a number which is less than 2%. Answer will be definitely more than 38%. How many options are there? Only one. A number which is close to 40% is 38 2 by 11. That is the only option that you have. Next. Out of options, there is only one option which is close to 40% and less than 40. Next, 62. What is the sum of average number of watches exported by country M in 2005 and 6 together, and the average number of watches exported by country N in 2007 and 8 together? Sum of average of M in 2005 and 6, 2005 and 6, average of these two, and N in 2007 and 8, average of these two. Average of these two plus average of these two. This is what you need to calculate. How much is this? 460. And this is 550. So 460 plus 550 by 2 average. And average of these two. How much is this? 310. And this one? 470. 310 plus 470 by 2. You can take 2 common, right? You can take 2 common. Anyway, you are going to add, right? Let me take 2 common. Later you can do that. 300, 700, 1100, 1600, 1600. Remember. 60, 50, 110. 110, 70, 180. 180, 10, 190. Plus 1600. 1790 by 2. 1800. 10 less than 1800. Half of that will be 5 less than 900, which is 895. Next, 63. What is the respective ratio between total number of watches exported by countries M and N together in 2005 and total number of watches exported by the same countries together in 2006? 2005 together and 2006 together. You are asked about ratio. Respective ratio between number of watches exported by countries M and N together in 2005 and the total number of watches exported by the same countries together in 2006. 2005 versus 2006. This is what you are asked about. Now, what is this? 260. And this one? 460. 720. 720. What is this? 370. And this one? 500. 550. Yes, 550. 550 plus 370. 920. 0, 0 cancel. Cancellation with 4. This is 18 times. And this is 22 times. 23 times. 18 by 23. First option. 64. If the number of watches exported by the countries M, N decreased by 20% and 15% from 2009 to 2010, okay, what was the total number of watches exported by M and N together in 2010? M decreases by what percent? 20 and N 15. M is how much? How much is this? This is 560 and N this is 320. 320. 560 decreased by 20%, they said. 560. 20% of this is 112. And N is 320 and it decreases by 15%. 10% is 32, 5% is 16, 15% is 48. 112 and then 48. You need to decrease this. How much is that? 160. Subtract 160 here. 400. 320. 720. Don't subtract it separately. ఇక్కడ మళ్ళీ 560లోంచి 112, 320లోంచి 48 అక్కడ తీసేసి రాయొద్దు. మొత్తం ఇలా రాసుకుంటే తొందరగా వస్తుంది. నెక్స్ట్, number of watches exported by country M in 2007 is what percent of the total number of watches exported by company M and N together in 2004? M in 2007. M in 2007. 440. 440 is what percent of M and N together in 2004? M is 260 here and here it is 380. 380, 260. 640. 640. Percentage, right? So into 100. Right, look at your options. Options are nearby 65, 60, 70, 75. Okay? Now, let's do it. 10%? 64. 64. 65 for time being. Let it be 65. Or else. 10% is 64. 20%? 128. 128 is close to 130. How many 130s are here? How many 130s are here? 3 130s. 3 130s. Enta? 3. Which is more than that? Yes or no? Which is more than that? Answer is more than 60. 10% is 64. Let me directly go for 70%. 7 times of 64. 67s. 420. 420. 7 4s. 28. 420. 28. 448. From this you need to subtract 8. Then it becomes 440. What is 1%? 6.4. This is more than 1%. But less than 2%. If you subtract 1%, that becomes 69. If you subtract 2%, 68. Answer will be in between 68 and 69. There is only one option, 68 3/4. Right? Clear? Right.